This is a quick video tutorial about how to program these Baofeng radios. Now both the BF-F8HP and the UV-5R are very similar. So in this video I'm going to use the UV-5R. But you can do this procedure with the BF-F8HP as well, and it'll work basically the same way. In order to start, you need a programming cable. And I found a few of these on Amazon, and one that I got for free with the radio didn't work very well. So I recommend ordering the actual BTech programming cable. You also want to have the CHIRP software fully installed on your system and running. Now the first thing you want to do with the new radio is factory reset it, and then set the language back to English. So to do that, you want to turn the radio on, hit the menu button, and then hit down arrow until you get to the reset screen. When you're on the reset screen, hit menu, then hit menu again, and you can use the up down arrow to decide what you want to reset. VFO will just reset the channels, all will obviously reset everything. So I want to do all, hit menu, the radio will restart. And now, it's in Chinese. To reset the language back to English, hit menu, and then hit the up arrow until you get to the language menu. Hit the menu button, change the language, hit the menu button to confirm, and then you can exit from the menu. So now we are ready to program this radio. Now the first thing you want to do is plug in the programming cable to the radio. So make sure that the radio is turned off when you do this. Open up the little flap on the side and plug in the cord in the obvious way that it goes, right? Big plug to the big hole, little plug to the little hole. Now when you push this in, I've noticed that you have to push this pretty hard in order to get it connected correctly. So make sure that it goes in all the way. Alright, sorry about the camera pointed at the screen thing, but that's the best way I think to show what's going on here. The first step is to open up the CHIRP software. You want to get that running on your desktop. Then grab your radio with the cable, turn the radio on, and turn the volume all the way up. And plug the USB cable into your computer. Now the first time you do that, you may get a driver installing, so wait for that if that shows up. But then you're going to want to open up your device manager and find out what COM port the new item showed up on. So in this case, COM 10 is the new item. So I want to go into this radio menu and say download from radio, and it allows you to select the port here. In this case it's already on COM 10, and then you select the vendor and type of the radio. In this case it's the Baofeng UV-5R. Then you click OK. It warns you about some issues that you may have. However, I have not experienced any of these issues. So you click yes on that. It gives you some instructions here. Turn radio off, connect cable to mic speaker connector. Make sure connector is firmly connected. We already did all that. We turned the radio on. Ensure that the radio is tuned to a channel with no activity. Click OK to download image from device. So if you watch on the radio here, when I click OK, I get a blinking red light on the radio, and I get a cloning message here on the screen, progress bar. Alright, and then I get a file here in CHIRP, which is the current programming of my radio. Now the next step, once you get to this point, is to actually set up some channels. So if you notice in CHIRP here, there are some what they call stock configs. So if I go in here and I look up, let's say, I want the FRS and GMRS channels. I can load that up, and it loads in another tab here. You can see the list of FRS, this is Family Radio Service channels, and they all have names and various other settings off to the side. I'm not going to explain any of these other settings, but you could tweak these settings here if you want as well. But what you can do with this is you can copy these and then go back to your radio setup file and paste them in. Okay? So now if I want to, I could open up another list. Let's say I want also the NOAA weather alert channels. So here's the NOAA weather alert channels. There's really 7 of these, but it gives you these 3 extra ones. These are the Canadian Weather Service and a Marine Weather Service that's kind of not used anymore. But you can copy these and then you can paste them into your radio setup file at a different location. So you can see they went at the end of the list there. Now this file right here can be uploaded back into the radio. These over here cannot be uploaded into the radio. They are just channel lists, so you don't need those anymore. You can go back to this, go to the radio and say upload to radio. Now if upload to radio is grayed out, you probably are not on the right file. This file must be a file that came from the radio you're trying to update. So this file, for example, would not work with the BF radio. I cannot transfer between different kinds of radios, but I can copy and paste this channel list. So once you got your channel list and you're happy with that, you can just go here and say upload to radio. Now if I click upload to radio, again, it makes me select the COM port. It assumes the vendor and model because it gets that from the file that we're trying to upload. That's the only kind of radio that we can upload to right now. So if you click OK, gives you some instructions again. These are basically the same instructions as before. So you click OK after that, and then warns you about the firmware. Click yes. Now you get a green light on the radio, which means that it's uploading. And then when this is done, radio should reset, it'll restart, and it'll come back up with the new channels programmed in. So now you can turn the radio off, unplug the programming cable. Now the last thing you want to do after you get your radio programmed is listen to some of the channels. And you'll notice when you first turn it on that the channel names are not displayed. So to change that, you can go into the menu. And it's one of the options towards the middle of the menu. Option 21 and 22. You can change this to name. Okay.
Confirm.
And then you'll see the channel names on the screen. So then you can select
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3.
It's a little funny because it gives you the channel number.
1, 4.
It doesn't say the name, but you can read it.
1, 5, 1, 1, 1, 8, 1, 9, 2, 2, 2, 2.
There we go.
Storms. Thursday night, partly cloudy in the evening, then becoming mostly clear.
But that's basically all there is to it, and then you can listen to channels and see the names.